again, Broncos country.
Really excited to chop up some Broncos with you all this week.
Bourbon, Broncos, and no BS.
Favorite time of the week, but not for the Raiders, Chargers, or Chiefs. So grab your brews in your fantasy league. We got that blue and orange blood that you bleed. The most loyal fans there ever could be. We are that mile high Broncos country.
Orange Weekly, fans, brews, and Broncos news. What's up, Broncos country? Welcome to Bourbon, Broncos, and no BS, where tonight I have already been doing shots because I don't want to talk about last week's game. I really don't want to talk about the injuries, and I really don't want to talk about how I feel about this upcoming game. So, hey, gents. Glad you're here. Great show. I think we should just end it. I think we just said everything that we that I want to cover. So
well, I was going to say, if you don't want to talk about any of those things, it's going to be a short show.
Yeah. Cheers. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. I'm gonna go keep drinking and leave. I'm just kidding.
I sympathize because I also don't really want to talk about any of those things.
But unfortunately, that's what we're here to do, and we're glad you're all here. If I'm echoing, I apologize. Not sure what's going on. Thanks, Daniel. Let me know if it's still echoing. Let's break down everything going on, and we'll just start with what happened this last Sunday, and then John will we're gonna get the post-game podcast out here tonight. But let's start with you, man, and just share your thoughts on 2 days after the game, where you're at with the team, man.
Well, apparently I am the echo problem, so that is what I'm troubleshooting at the moment. So come back to me, Kevin.
Okay, David.
Well, I was just about to drink like all of this beer in a single gulp to answer your question, but I can't do that. I'm not a young man anymore. Anyway, I am disappointed. Obviously is the word. Obviously teams' expectations for this team were pretty high, especially after going 3-0 against bad teams. Obviously it is what it is there. We were all really hoping that they were going to be able to continue that success against better teams, and they just haven't. For reason A, B, C, reason A through Z. There's a bunch of reasons why they haven't. And some of them are the team's fault and others aren't. But the bottom line is they are where they are because of, what they've accomplished to this point. It's just not much. The play of the defense and the secondary in specific has been really puzzling. They just haven't been good. There's been a lot of coverage breakdowns, and it's been, guys that have been consistently there. You've got Pat Surtain and Ron Darby there. Those are two new faces, but, Simmons and Jackson, those guys have been here together for a while. You've had Callahan in the system for a while. So you've got vets who should know what they're doing. Kyle Fuller's been in the system forever. It's not something that you should be having these, seeing the kind of issues that we're seeing there. We are, and you can put a part of that on the bad pass rush, but it's just been really confusing to watch this defense play all the way around.
Hey everyone, see you're joining. Hit that share button for us. Hit the react button. Heck, if you're upset at the team and not really at us, but at the team, you can hit that angry face. That's okay too. Just hit whatever reaction you want, and then go ahead and post your comments and questions. We're getting some already coming in. A lot of heat towards Shermer, and he can't play or call plays worth a damn. It needs to be better, period. But Daniel here asking a question here. Have we lost faith in Shermer, Fangio, Donatel, Peyton? Where are you sitting, John, with all these guys?
Yeah, so let me know if the echo comes back, because that's embarrassing. We've only been doing this for how many weeks? But just like the Broncos, we're still figuring things out here, apparently.
Yeah.
Definitely, I've lost faith in Shermer. I've been against him for a while now, last few weeks. Fangio kind of lost my trust a lot this week. I think it's because it looked like he was coaching desperate. Those challenges were. It took one replay to realize those weren't going to get overturned. It looked, and then going for it on fourth early in the game, which that didn't bother me as much because it showed me that he, it wasn't like a terrible position on the field to go for it, but also it kind of let me know that he understood his job. He needs to win this game, and so I didn't really hate that as much as I know Ray did. Ray was all against that one.
It's a fine line between desperation and urgency. And
right.
Yeah. And I think we saw Fangio go from A to way over the cliff on B. We're in flat out desperation at this point.
Right. Mm-hmm. As far as Donatel goes, that's an interesting one. I mean, our defense has not been playing well. So if he's the defensive coordinator, I know Fangio is making the calls on defense. So I lose more trust in him than Donatel. But look, this defense isn't performing. And he is one of the main coaches. So you have to lose trust in him as well.
Yeah. Yeah. At this point, I'm done with him.
Right.
They're going to have to do something major, i.e., turn this into a playoff team this season to keep their jobs. I think if there was any doubt of that before the season started, if there was any idea that maybe they'd get a break somehow, if they didn't make the playoffs, I think we can dispel that notion at this point. I don't think I've lost faith in Peyton. I want to see how he does things. Drafting a quarterback and hiring a head coach of his own. I understand why he liked Fangio and wanted to hold over that staff. But it's pretty clear to me now. This is, and I don't think he's going to fire them mid-season. I don't think that's the way this front office wants to operate. So I think, no matter how this season goes, we're going to have Fangio and Shermer there for the entire rest of the way. But yeah, and like I said, unless things improve drastically to a playoff appearance, we're talking about a head coaching search this offseason.
So that's interesting to me. So the way that we played the last 3 weeks, especially on offense, you don't see a situation where Shermer at least gets the boot?
I don't see Fangio. I mean, the reason Shermer's here in the first place is because he and Fangio are good friends. I think I just don't see how Fangio would do that to save his own job, knowing that they are a package deal anyway. I don't know that. I don't see how, if you're Fangio, firing Shermer improves your prospects of keeping your own job. And that's, I think, the only reason he would do it during the season.
Okay, but if you keep Shermer and you keep playing the way you do, then you're just guaranteed you're losing your job.
I guess
if you're not going to make a change and it just keeps going the way it's going.
But that's what I've seen from Fangio so far in his coaching career.
That's true.
He's not really a guy who adjusts for the better part, to better the situation for everybody,
or at least to try and better the situation.
Right? No,
there's no guarantee that it would better it, but
for sure.
It seems like a situation where you have to try. I mean, for your own well-being,
sure,
for Fangio's sake.
Yeah, I mean, so then, go ahead, Jared. Or go ahead, Kev.
So here's the thing: I'd have faith that Fangio would be willing to make a change if he felt that there needed to be something done. How do you let Tom McMahon go? But he can't even let Tom McMahon go after we've had years of terrible special teams. So the fact he won't even do that during an offseason tells me he's definitely not going to do it during a regular season to Shermer, who, friend and everything. Plus, even then, the question goes back to, who are we going to promote? Is he going to do anything? Probably not. If anything, it would be sending a message to the fan base, to Broncos country, saying we have standards here and this isn't cutting it and people are losing their jobs. It's also saying, I think from more like the George Payton level, that, hey, this season's lost, we're kind of in desperation mode. We're going to see if this works, and it may not, who knows, but we're done with these people. And it just sends that message that, hey, we're done. But we do have standards. And that is a disappointing thing that, when we saw the, shrining of Mike Shanahan, and just remembering back to when this team and had standards, if you didn't make it to the playoffs, that coaching staff was going to be gone. The fact that Mike Shanahan had 3 seasons in a row where he didn't make the playoffs is kind of, crazy. And he did have Super Bowl rings at the time to help him get through that. Right. And it led forward to the back-to-back Super Bowl wins here in Denver. But there were standards before. And since the passing of Pat Bowlen and since Peyton Manning left and everything, there are no standards when it comes to the front office of the Broncos organizations. And so it's going to be interesting to see what George Payton does in all of this. I think if somebody gets fired, it's coming from George Payton. Right. It's not coming from Vic Fangio, because I have no faith that Fangio is going to make that decision and fire someone when you can't even let Tom McMahon go. If you're talking about, does he really believe in standards? I'm going to say no, and I've kind of, anybody who's been watching this show for any amount of time knows that I've stood up for Vic Fangio probably just as long as anyone else. Right. But I'm past that. I'm done. I'm over it. I think I know where this is going at the end of the season. So anyway,
so what you're saying is,
again, everyone who's here, Daniel, Robert, Travis, Chris, Facebook user who I don't know what your name is. I'm sorry. I can't see it. Antonio, glad you're all here. Keep those comments coming, and make sure you grab a drink. Just make sure you drink responsibly. But really quickly, there is some good news out there. And this is really for NFL fans in general. And so, going into this next week, we're all hungry for a big win after the Broncos especially lost the last 3 in a row. So if you want to win a for sure win that's going to make you feel good, DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered. The new customers can bet just $5 on any NFL team to win their game. And if they do, you win $200 in free bets. So winner, chicken dinner. It's that simple. We're going, it's a really easy way to get a win in your win-loss column there. So if Sportsbooks isn't available in your state yet, DraftKings won't leave you empty-handed. Everyone can play for huge cash prizes all season long with DraftKings daily fantasy sports contests. DraftKings is giving all new customers a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with their first deposit. Now, here's what you need to do to cash in on this. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now or after the show, and use promo code TPPN just at the bottom of our screen here. You see that. Bet just $5 on any NFL team to win their game and win $200 in free bets. If they win, you win with the promo code TPPN this week at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Of course, you must be 21 or older. Be in a state that supports sports betting. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit and $5 wager required. 1 per customer. Restrictions apply. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. But I think that's an easy way for us to all get a win. But let's go back to the Broncos.
Let's say that. Nice transition. They're getting better there.
Getting better. Getting it's great. Yeah, good job.
I'm kind of the Teddy Bridgewater level. I'm average. It's not great. It's not terrible, but it's there. So
it's there.
Well, as long as you don't have a week where you have 4 turnovers, I think you're getting better.
True.
If you don't let the Raiders hit you 15 times, 15 plus times. Actually.
We want to talk about the line of scrimmage play?
No.
So, I mean, here's the thing: we can bash the coaches all we want, and they have a very fair share of blame on going their direction. But what about the players? They're the ones executing out there, right? Basically, 0 offensive line play for the last couple weeks. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's been on both sides of the line. It's been bad. It's been bad for parts of all season. Even the games we were winning, it's been bad on both sides of the ball. And now we're playing teams that are good enough to expose us on those in the trenches. And it's completely stalling out both units. It's affecting both of these units front to back, and it's really, really apparent right now.
Yeah, it starts at the line of scrimmage on both sides, and that's why our secondary is looking like crap. We're not getting any pass rush. No quarterback is scared of our offensive line or our pass rush in general. And then, our offensive line, guess how you beat the Broncos? You just bring 4 people, and likely they're going to get to the quarterback, less than average amount of time. So until that's fixed, Teddy looks not scared every play, but he knows that the clock is ticking every freaking time he gets the ball. And it's leading to bad plays. And we saw it this week.
And he wants to make plays down the field. You can see that he wants to be the guy that helps this offense move along. You see him holding those balls and waiting for somebody to get open, or at least be able to, be in a position to get a 50-50 ball. And he's just not getting the time up front. And it's a real struggle to watch right now because he's putting himself on the line too. You see him limping around at practice today. He's doing everything he can to try and put this team on his shoulders. And it's just, where you got wide receivers dropping like flies. It's just kind of been a convergence of disasters on offense this season. But it's starting on the offensive line.
So how do you fix that, though? If you go into a game knowing that your offensive line can't block worth a damn, let's be honest, their defensive line, I mean, at that point, it comes down to like game planning and that kind of stuff, right? I mean, you can't just go in there and expect them to play better.
Right. But I think if you're expecting, honestly, I think that's generally the plan because it feels like we're not making adjustments on offense so the coaching staff's philosophy right now seems to boil down to go out there and execute, i.e. play better. And so, I agree with you. And I don't really know that solution is going to take us anywhere but more into the losing column.
It's a combo. It's both.
Right.
Because, if you see an adjustment of asking Noah Fant to make more blocks and he goes out there and he blocks for shit and gets holding penalties on plays that he's blocking and stuff, that's not helping. So, you can make a minor adjustment. That's not enough to overcome it, right? But you expect the players to go out there and perform better. Neither is happening. Pretty much neither is happening.
Yeah.
And it's killing Teddy, and it's not due to a sack, but he is injured. If any of you saw that, he was still limping today. Says that it was on that 4-yard touchdown pass at the end of the game. His foot got stepped on, ankle got stepped on. His foot went numb, he says. And I do want to talk about this and hear I want to hear everybody who's watching. I want to hear your thoughts too. So we're here in a situation where if we were playing Sunday, I would say I'm not concerned. Obviously, Thursday night game, I'm concerned because it's Tuesday. He's still limping. And it's a noticeable limp, right? So everything that that Fangio said on the podium today was that they're planning on Teddy to start.
Yeah.
So would you rather have a hurt Teddy Bridgewater behind what's been a terrible offensive line on a Thursday night game, risking him to get injured more, or a healthy Drew Lock behind that terrible offensive line? And what does it say more? Does it say that you trust Teddy Bridgewater more, or does it say that you distrust Drew Lock that much that you would rather put Teddy out there even though he's injured?
Teddy is the desperation move again. It's the move that says the coaching staff is desperate to do anything to keep their jobs again. And we talked about this earlier, Kev, a little bit before the show. I say you yeet the kid out there, i.e. Locke. You yeet him out there and let him yeet it around the yard and just see what happens. Because, he might throw 4 picks, but he might throw 4 touchdowns. Like, I'd say the odds of 4 picks are better than 4 touchdowns, but he's healthy right now. He's got that going for him. I don't know what you gain by rushing Teddy out there. Because like I said earlier, if Teddy starts this game, he's not going to finish. He will not make it to the end of that game.
Yeah. So what I 2 days out predict is if Teddy plays, he's not going to finish the game. I see him getting sacked 4 times and hit a ton of other times. I also say that no matter who starts, we're going to throw 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
And that's just from, like what you were saying, John, if you want to beat our offensive line, you rush 4 every time and you're going to
your base defense and you'll have good success.
Not, putting them under the pressure, getting those sacks. And if we get those sacks, or if they get those sacks, that's, where Teddy gets hurt and we're going to see Drew Lock one way or the other.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, first to address the elephant in the room, DG King. I can't give it up.
No, I'll be honest. It doesn't like. I don't mean to disrespect you, John, but that globe doesn't really seem like that unique. I feel like that globe is.
It's not unique, but what do I put there in place? I actually have a lot of cool things I could put there in place. It's
I'm not saying
it's laziness on my part to not make this a whole Denver Broncos room.
Sure.
/ my wife not letting me do that is the biggest problem. So there is that.
Who's in charge, John?
My wife. I just said it.
Is she watching the show right now?
See, Daniel knows. Still average. See? This is what an average person does. They let their wife win, and then they have a happy marriage and a happy life and happy kids and all that kind of thing.
Certainly in charge
really
of
quickly, I do want to call out DG King. I think you're the first person ever
that's harsh.
to comment on our video from Twitch. So I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you being here, man. I think you are the first. I don't have any special prizes for you other than
that's got to earn
not
something.
to tell you where you can buy that globe later on. But I do appreciate you.
I'm sure any one of several online retailers have that particular globe available.
Yeah, maybe that should be the price. But back to your question, Kevin. I think it's a desperate coaching staff right now, and if you're going to talk about pulling Teddy, like why didn't we pull him when we're 17 points down and clearly not in that Raiders game? Like, why is he in there in the last drive when the game is so far from over? Makes no. I mean, if you're worried about injuries, then you pull him then. So I believe that that's a good one. I believe that Teddy goes out there because, like David said, the coaching staff is desperate for a win. Let's be honest. We're more likely to win under Teddy than Locke, and that is still my opinion. Even after poor play from Teddy, like imagine if Locke was in there. I can't imagine it being better with the way that offensive line is blocking right now.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. We're talking a little bit about Judy too. I've seen a couple of comments on Judy. I really hope we don't rush Judy back, but as long as we're talking desperation from the coaching staff, if we do see them try to shoehorn him in, and we'll find out tomorrow, it's gonna, it'll have to be tomorrow. It's just another sign that everybody smells blood in the water, and it's that place is a really bad place to be in 7 weeks into the season.
Right. Like a game under 500 because I have zero hope that we're going to win against the Browns.
Right. Exactly. And where do you go from there? You go to Dallas and do what?
We got Washington. That's
the Washington football team. There's a winnable game. But
winnable.
The way we've been playing, I don't even foresee that being a win.
No, that's not a guarantee or even a projection of winning.
No.
As terrible and as I won't say lazy, but lack of heart, lack of caring, as they have been. Washington.
There's no game we have right now that's a guaranteed win or a team to be overlooked.
They could announce that Baker Mayfield could be out tomorrow night,
which he is injured.
Yeah, he's been, and he's not doing well. And that I would have a lot of questions about this Cleveland game. I don't know.
Now let's talk about that. So we've talked a lot about the Broncos injuries really quickly. So David Moore was released. So I'm disappointed. It looks like that experiment did not work out.
Big shocker. Huge shocker.
Alexander Johnson, IR, that really sucks.
That's the biggest loss of the week for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Unless there's more news on Tip Patrick that I haven't seen, but
not yet.
No, he'll be good. Everything I've seen is he's okay.
The bench got him.
The bench got him at the end.
Again, like in the last
I don't know. Mike Boone last week was taken off of IR as well. So hopefully he'll play.
He played a snap. He played more than one snap.
Yeah,
he got a handoff.
That's right.
Yeah.
Darby played. Darby looked as good as Fuller has this whole season.
Yeah. Woo. That's exciting.
The one plus of this secondary is that Surtain has looked the part.
Yeah, so far. Yeah,
as a rookie.
Getting a lot of help out there right now. Even Simmons has not really looked himself that often this season. It's been so odd. Oh, watch Case Keenum come out here and throw 5 touchdowns. God, just watch it happen.
Oh, God. No, but that'd be here's what's going to happen, right? We're so down on the Broncos right now, and they're going to come out and just be amazing this game and give us hope again. They're going to win somehow. And then all of a sudden we lose the next, I don't know, however many games are remaining.
Right,
13.
yeah.
Stop giving me hope, damn it.
Right?
Yeah.
They're really good at giving us hope.
And then
in
taking
the fourth quarter, if nothing else. But
yeah.
I don't expect to win this week. I said it before. Like, I think Shermer needs to be gone if we play the way we did against the Raiders, which we did. And I honestly didn't think that was going to happen. I thought that was going to be a close game. The loss didn't surprise me. It was the way we lost. And then if we lost that the way we did, I still give them zero chance to beat the Browns the way they're playing right now. So who knows? It's the NFL. It can always turn around, but there's no reason to believe that's going to happen, except that, just like going to Vegas, there's always hope.
I guess.
Not enough, Richie. Not enough bourbon at all.
I'm like one shot in to answer your question, Richie.
Either way, not enough. Chris here, all the negative, there's always some positive. So let's talk about some positive. It's not good. I don't want players to be injured, but we are facing a team that is also pretty dang banged up themselves. Looks like Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb both are going to be out. At least Chubb I saw for sure is.
Yeah, they both are.
Baker Mayfield is really hurt. There's still doubt as to if he's going to play or not. Now, Von Miller did come out today and say that he doesn't know who he's going to be facing, but on the pass rush, but whoever it is, he's going to kill him. He's going to kill the other guy on the other side of the line as well. And so, hey, those are some good words. I need to see it in action before I believe it. Maybe not actually killing the guy, but okay. I like the energy there at least. But what do you guys think? What can the Broncos do on defense to capitalize on this beat up Browns offense?
I mean, it's not a secret. You just gotta go do it. I mean, it's a little bit like we said earlier.
Apparently, it is a secret to the players. They haven't figured it out yet.
maybe they've got to start blitzing a little bit more. I know they've been really reluctant to do that, and they really just want this 4-man pass rush to work the way it's constructed, and it isn't. So maybe that's a scenario where they've got to start blitzing a little bit more. See what happens. Caden Stearns had 2 sacks in 7 snaps a couple of weeks ago. Where's he on defensive back blitzes? You got to start changing something up. That's kind of my idea on defense to help out every level of that defense, because you're going to have a new inside linebacker in there with Justin Stranad, who has been playing okay at best.
He's still learning. Yeah,
sure. Really young guy. So you've got to do something to help the young guys in there and a secondary that's already struggling. That's my idea.
Yeah, Richie, I think last game was the key game, and I said it. And for a team that was 3-2, that's as close to a must-win game as you'd have against the Browns. I don't see a chance in hell that way. I don't know what needs to happen in this game for me to gain a little bit of confidence back in this coaching staff or this team in general. Let's put it that way, since I know people are, is it the coaching? Is it the players? But
I don't think anything could happen in one game for that to happen for me.
Yeah. I don't think so either. It would at least have to be close. We'd have to look like a totally different team than we've looked in the last 3 weeks, which I just don't have any hope.
And that's
going to happen.
Well, and that's the problem with this coaching staff too, is even when they come out and look different for a week, they're not able to build on their successes. They've never been able to stack good performances in a row. So yeah, I just don't have any faith in, even if they do come out looking incredible this game.
Yeah.
I am feeling the love this week, so that's good.
I don't know. Maybe you just need to put on a visor, man. And
do I need to pull a Jared?
People would respect you a little bit more.
Not in that way, David. God, phrasing. I get it.
I mean, if you pulled a Jared and put on a visor, I'd be more upset than if you pulled a Jared by doing the other way.
Yeah.
So, make your choice.
If it makes you happy, David, I do not own a visor, so we don't have to worry about that. Luckily,
that does. That does make me happy. Thank you.
But yeah, I don't. It's not. I'm sorry, guys. It's not going to happen this week, and I can only say that knowing that a lot of times the Broncos go the other direction than what I say. So maybe that actually gives them luck, but yeah, I don't feel it. But here's a classic example again of what pisses me off about the Broncos. The one play I can like definitively think of where we brought pressure. We brought like 6 or 7 people. And they called a screen, and it worked perfectly, and they got like 25 yards.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I'm just thinking in the back of my head, why don't we do these plays? But then I'm also thinking it's because they're only bringing 4 people, and a screen might not even work in that situation.
It doesn't.
Yep.
They don't have to. Get pressure with 4 guys. They've got 7 covering. Your screen's not going anywhere.
And somebody said it earlier, we need to get them to respect our run game. And I really think we're at the point where Williams has shown that he should be the number 1 running back. I'm split between, I understand the 50-50 between him and Gordon. Gordon is still playing well. But I want to see them feed the ball to Williams more. I mean, he makes plays, and even though you all disagreed with me, I'm going to stick by it. They should have ran the ball on that 4th and 2. But it doesn't matter at this point. So I just wanted to see David's reaction.
He had the guy open. He just threw it 2 yards over his head. He was as open.
Kevin, here's the thing. Like,
the point is the offensive line is getting beat left and right. So I get it. And we got to find a way so we can have Williams out there be 100% healthy and on his game. But if the offensive line isn't doing anything to help him out, we're not going to get a run game going. What we're going to be is in a situation where we're down by 10 at halftime and we're going to start having to throw the ball more, and that's where things get out of control in the second half very quickly. And we get some garbage time points, but it just doesn't work. And so, this is where it just comes down to, you can change things up, but the players have to find a way to make it happen out there and execute a little bit better too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean,
go ahead.
For this game, we go into halftime down by 10 points. That feels pretty bad. And then what do? We go out. First play of the second half is a 5-yard run. That feels pretty good. And then all of a sudden we get a penalty that takes us back and out of that drive, kick it. And then I'm pretty sure they scored on the very next drive. And, at that point, the game just feels over to me.
Already.
At the beginning of the second half. And it basically was,
Yeah, absolutely. The team can't get out of their own way right now, and that's, to me, more than anything, is the coaching. It's just when they look like they are not just not executing, but not understanding what they're supposed to be executing, and which is ridiculous because they go out there and they practice it all week. So but just putting that product out on the field, to me, that's what you see in the coaching, where you see the coaching component come in the most. And this season or this week, it's, you've got one of the better young coaches in the NFL and Kevin Stefanski come in. You've got this weird phenomenon where they pick up Jadeveon Clowney in Cleveland and he can sack the quarterback all of a sudden. It's not a good scenario for your team right now. It's really like, whether Baker Mayfield plays or not, I'm getting the feeling that Cleveland's going to score on defense this week, and what's going on with this globe? Are we still on this? Is it?
I don't know what it's about, this globe.
I don't know either.
It's very popular. I do want to give a friendly shout out to DCU watching on our YouTube. Thanks for checking us out there, Browns fan. And I want to, he does post, watch out for the Jekyll and Hyde Browns defense. The Broncos defense has all of late just been nothing but Jekyll or whatever the terrible one.
Jekyll. Jekyll's the one terrible one because you would like Hyde on your defense. He'd be messing people up. Jekyll's a puny guy. I mean, he's a brainiac, but you want him as your defensive coordinator. You don't want him out there at your nose tackle.
Right.
Yeah.
I do want to hear from you, DCU. What is the word out there? How are you all feeling about this upcoming game? Because as you're hearing from us out here, with our performance the last 3 games, we're not feeling too good. We're not feeling too good at all. The injuries are one thing, but then just the overall lack of performance is killing us as well. Probably just as much, if not more so than the injuries. But go ahead and let us know. I want to hear what you have to say from Browns Nation, or is it Browns Country? What is it? I don't know.
The Dog Pound.
The Dog Pound. Let me know what it is from the
Nicely done, David.
Thank you. Yeah, pulled that one out.
Very good. I will say this whole rant about the negativity started with a question about have some positivity. So I apologize.
You're like, let's be positive, and we went right back to the negative.
Okay. Positive is Chubb doesn't look like he's playing this week, and not Bradley Chubb, but Nick Chubb.
Right.
No Nick Chubb, no Kareem Hunt either. So they're down to the third string.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And from what back to the Judy, and I'm sorry I'm going back in time here, but for Judy, the quote I heard was under 50% to play this week.
Okay, good.
So I have a feeling, though, I know we were all talking about him being back for the Washington game. So hopefully that comes to fruition, assuming he's healthy, because we don't want him to go back out there too early.
No way. It's DCU. DCUP says the offensive line has been a little bit banged up in Cleveland. I really wouldn't worry about it. We've had, quote unquote, bad offensive lines that we've made look really good
now.
Yeah, that we were unable to do anything against. So yeah, I wouldn't sweat necessarily your guys on the offensive line there.
Yeah.
Is what I would ask is how much is Baker Mayfield's injury to his non-throwing shoulder? How much do you think it's really affecting what he's been able to do? That's the other thing is this. Kevin Stefanski is one of those Kubiak coaches who learned a crap ton of run stuff, but didn't carry over that fear to pass. He's even with Jarvis Landry down, even with Odell Beckham not at his most effective, Kevin Stefanski's not afraid to throw the ball around the yard. And I think we saw that in the Browns-Chargers game a couple of weeks ago. It was 45-42, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got those inside zone runs. He's got those outside zone runs. He's got everything from the Shanahan playbook as far as runs go. He's got a creative passing game. So it's, to me, less important who's really at that running back position. I think they've got coaches who can execute. Unlike our offensive coaching staff, they can make something happen for the guys they have.
The fact we're going negative again here, but the fact that we lost to a special teams coordinator and an offensive coordinator, which I know he has experience, but he wasn't calling plays this season.
Yeah,
there should be no hope that we're going to outcoach anybody this year.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting about who's available for them, though. I'm pretty sure OBJ's maybe out. He got hurt this last week, and you already mentioned Landry. Although I think Landry's not on the injury report right now. I don't see him here, but Nick Chubb,
he's on injured reserve, isn't he?
Is he? Okay,
yeah,
maybe that's what. Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
This is how much I'm paying attention to the Browns, which I apologize for all these the Browns fans that are actually watching. But
hey, King, we'll do it. We'll see if we can get John to do it at the end of the show. So you have to stick around for the end of the show and see if John will do it. So. But yeah, he'll
feel like I'm on
if you spin the globe.
I feel like I'm on one of these.
Now you're just popular tonight. Speaking of popularity,
I'm always
apparently we're not good enough, guys.
That tracks.
People only want to see Jared and or Ayla, and we're just kind of, nothing.
I already had to talk to my therapist about some inadequacy issues anyway, so this, it's all right. Just bring them on. I got room in my emotional sack for these.
I would see you as more adequate if you were on Team Visor.
You bet my headgear wouldn't be adequate. So,
David, if we could never talk about any of your sacks again, that'd be great for me.
You're gonna have to find a different show, John, because that's not what you signed up for, and I think you knew that when you came here.
Bourbon, Broncos, and no BS and sacks.
And we're just gonna add that at the end and sacks. Actually, we already did it earlier. I will remind everyone really quickly on DraftKings, $5 bet on a team to win. If they win, you will get $200 in free bets. So you just have to use the promo code TPPN on DraftKings for that. So pick a team to win. If they win, you get $200 in free bets with the code TPPN. But I do appreciate the help there. Robert, at least we get a little bit of appreciation, but
we appreciate watching you, Robert.
Watching him do what?
So I've noticed something. I was talking about OnlyFans. Sorry.
Okay, good. All right.
Yeah. Go check out Robert on OnlyFans if you can find him. Good luck.
Yeah.
But I've noticed a trend here the last 3 weeks with the way the Broncos have been playing. It goes Sunday, Broncos
loss.
Yeah, well, there's that trend, which leads to the next trend. Terrible play, lots of drinking, and then the group chat is blown up. I'm probably the biggest culprit of this. Of just drunken, angry texts back and forth. Jason loves to. Oh man, he's baiting me hard this year.
Jason does that
Yeah. I've learned. I'm learning. I'm the new guy, so I'm learning as we go. Angry Sundays, feeling bad Mondays. I mean, me and Ayla got into a yelling fight on the post-game show.
That was
great,
intense. You'll have to check it out on the post-game podcast.
Yeah, that was great. At the end of the show, so we made it so you have to watch the whole thing to get there. So that was fun. It wake up to a text from her being like, "Sorry for yelling at you." I laughed it off and said, "Yeah, I apologize too. Like, we're still friends. Like, it's dumb to get angry about we're both angry at the Broncos, but different opinions for why we're angry at the Broncos." And then we cool off a little bit, and then we get to the Tuesday show, and then it's like, okay, we're starting over. What is the actual problem? All that to say, the Broncos just need to do better.
See, this is another advantage of the puffball, because if you want to avoid going through all of those stages that John just put out there, and you get to like Monday and you just want to like pull your hat over your eyes and cry so nobody sees, it's
the glasses. I have to take the glasses off.
The glasses see, now that looks absolutely
and that's just a bad look.
Yeah, you can't do it. It's so that's I kind of avoid those and just kind of hermit into a shell of depression that protects me from other feelings until next week. And then it happens all over again. Yeah, so that's the cycle that we're in right now. Super healthy, really good place.
It upsets me. Yeah, very healthy cycle we're in. It upsets me that we didn't take advantage of the 3 wins at the beginning of the season, because right now I have zero hopes we're going to have many more wins this season.
Right.
And it's just going to be the same sad, dark depression for the rest of the year. But now we can laugh about it because we know it's coming.
Right. And I like fall, and I like to be happy during fall.
And one thing that will never happen, though, is this right here. Sorry, DCU, man. That drive is, you guys are never going to get payback for that. Nope. It's just too good of a history moment. So
that's ours.
Sorry, man.
Yeah. Unless your form of retribution is just beating us in the playoffs, then I'd be
sure that could happen.
I would be stoked if that actually happened.
I don't think got into a playoff.
No. I'm just David, bear with me. I'm just saying, because that means we made it to the playoffs.
Exactly.
Okay.
I don't think it happened.
All right.
At this point in time, where we are sitting right now, if we make the playoffs, no, we're stoked.
I suppose. Yeah, but then you lose to the Browns. I mean, the Browns are good, but we've got such a legacy in the playoffs against the Browns. That would be.
We do.
That means we actually have a chance, though.
Yeah, but then the Browns just took it away.
It's better than not being in the playoffs, right?
But is it? I mean, at the same time, because now you've got a lower draft pick, too.
But I'm never one to say
I'm not playing that game.
For a better draft pick.
I see. So the hypothetical only goes that far.
No. We're not playing that game, because what it means is that we had a much happier 4 months here, as opposed to being
very true
deep cycle of depression like we just talked about.
That's right. And are currently mired in.
I'm just saying that the Broncos have not done well. This is their 6th year in a row they haven't not done well. Orange Weekly is on its 6th year of being around. I'm not saying that there's a correlation, but there might be. And so I don't know, maybe we take next year off. And if the team does well, then we know it was our fault this whole time.
My liver will certainly be happier about it if we do, if that happens. I'm just gonna.
You're telling me, David? Oh,
I have feelings, John. It's okay. And your echo's back just a little bit. I don't even like hearing my voice once and then hearing it through an echo is even worse. But that was over the line. We have fun here. We talk, we joke back and forth.
Not taking any time off, that's for sure.
No, definitely no time off. In fact, we'll probably give you more content next year just to make it worse for everybody.
Quick,
John. Ouch. Go ahead, Kevin.
Quick trivia question for you. What you guys got? David, you're usually pretty damn good at trivia, so I want to put you on the spot here, man.
Who's our barefooted kicker? Oh, God. I know his name, but I don't know his name. Like, when you tell me his name, I'll be like, yeah, that's the name, but I'm never going to be able to pull it.
I'm not pulling that one out of my ass.
Nope.
David, I apologize, because that was very rude.
I forget.
Rich Carless.
See, I did know that name, but I would never have pulled that in a million years. Never once. Anyway,
hey, we're all bros here. They all dog on me for being short or something like that. I'm not, but that's what we do here. So We love each other.
It's
It's just that you're so tall.
well, yeah. It's not it's not my fault that you chose to partner with exclusively tall people and then your brother.
This is true.
For this
true.
podcast.
That's true.
Anyway, so let's go through a best case scenario, guys. Let's do it right now. Let's
Optimism, yeah.
Let's do a little optimism for the last 10 minutes here or so.
I like it.
Or, if we can do it for at least 2 minutes, I think we'll call it good. So the Broncos come out Friday morning with a 31-17 victory over the Cleveland Browns. How did it happen? Tell me. Where's engineer this one for me? Yeah.
For me, it starts with
Special teams.
well, that's not going to happen. I'm going to be optimistic, but still be realistic.
Not delusional. Okay.
Let's
There's
assume
no
that
realistic situation where this happens, but okay, sorry, let's go.
Let's go.
Keep going, sorry.
Let's say Teddy Bridgewater's still hurt. I say we start Drew Lock.
Okay.
And he only has one interception.
Uh-huh.
But we get some big plays out of like Cortland Sutton, Noah Fant down the field. I'm not going to say let's expect Jerry G to be in. I'm going to say let's not expect that right now. But we get some big plays from the offense.
John Brown takes
with Drew Lock's arm.
Maybe. John Brown takes a jet
I think
sweep
that's
60
one big
yards. That could be a thing.
Or if nothing else, he at least keeps them honest with the deep game because we don't have anyone to do that. And I feel like he was too new to the offense that they gave him much of the playbook going in. I feel like he went into the huddle and they said, go straight.
He'll have 2 more days of practice under his belt.
Yeah, he's got some practice under his belt. So I don't really expect him to contribute much, but at least he provides that deep threat. Okay. Because if you don't have the deep threat, then they don't have to worry about it. Their safeties can do pretty much whatever they want. The coverage looks a lot different. We don't have to worry about that quick speed guy to go down the middle of the field and get that deep pass.
Yeah.
Yep.
Back to your question, Kevin. Boy, that's a tough one. I will say, and I said it last week, the Broncos offensive line was very close to the bottom of the league last year at the beginning of the year, and they ended top 10. So if they can make that switch in 1 week,
yes.
And now we can control the line of scrimmage for once. We know that Teddy can play when he has time. He can make the right reads. He can go down his progression as opposed to, I hate to hate on Drew Lock, but he's not the same quarterback, and he has a terrible time going through his progressions.
No, he's going to yeet it up there and let the people decide.
Yeah, it's not a great strategy for winning.
No.
But if our offensive line is playing better, if they just play better, then our running game can get going, then our quarterback can feel comfortable. Again, it all comes back to starting at the line of scrimmage for me. And on the other side of the ball as well. The defense is not, it's just not there at the line of scrimmage. And now we put all the pressure on our secondary. So let's start putting some pressure on it.
To answer your question, to old toe juice there, no, Teddy's not mobile. He's immobile at the best of times and now has an ankle or foot injury. So I would not expect him to be making any plays with his feet.
He's not mobile, but he does have pocket presence.
Yes. Yeah, of course.
Which is a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what I think makes him a better quarterback than Locke, because Locke is more mobile, but he has to get outside the pocket to be more mobile, and our offensive line doesn't even allow that. So unless you get the ball and immediately sprint outside the pocket.
Yeah. To me, that scenario is because the Broncos have 200 yards rushing, and they have at least one turnover more than Cleveland. They win the turnover margin by 1, at least. If that's how, that's kind of my formula for winning this particular game, especially if the weather's going to be bad, like it may be. Like you said, John, this is not an outcome I'm expecting. This is, bottom 5% of possible outcomes that we're talking about here. But if you're talking about the most likely way for it to happen, that's how I see it.
Fair.
It's hard to figure out a likely situation where that happens.
I get it. Yeah, I understand. Bottom line, we don't ask the offensive line and the quarterback to do too much in the way of pass protection, and the team finds other ways to win.
At least for my own sanity, I just want us to be competitive. and look like a football team, which we haven't for the last 3 weeks.
I can
And I thought the Raiders were going to help us turn that around.
Game where both teams played very well. I don't expect the Broncos to win every game, but when you go out there and you look like dog shit week in and week out, that's where obviously we have a problem. If you go out there and you played a good team and you just couldn't get at the very end, they had the other team had the ball at the last second and they made a field goal or something, like, okay, then that was a good game. It was close. I'm not worried. Like, let's move on to next week. But looking back at the recent history, that's where it's like, even if they were to win this game, I still would look at our upcoming schedule and say, okay, that was cool. Can they build on it? They haven't been able to build on it in previous years. So I'm still going to be very skeptical, even if we, for some reason, somehow end up winning by even a lot, which to me, a lot would be 7 points.
At this point.
You say that, Kevin. You say that. But if we blow out the Browns, this is going to be a totally different conversation next week, and you're going to be saying a very different tune.
I'm going to say that was
Broncos give you hope.
No, you can hold me to this. If I sound different next week, let's say this happens. If I sound different,
it's not going to happen. So you don't have to worry about that.
I will be.
Whatever you're going to say next doesn't matter.
I will be ecstatic that we won, and then I will look and say, yeah, but I don't think we can keep doing that, and I'm not going to be excited for the next game.
Well, you just gave me so much optimism.
I'm trying to be real with you, man.
Take it away.
Be real.
Take it away. Boy.
David's like, oh God.
Yeah.
Sorry, I mean, go Broncos. We got this no matter what.
This is why we have to have Jared with his orange freaking whatever they are. His multiple orange goggles.
Yeah, but you know how Jared
he
just gets drunker as the show goes along, and he gets loud, and it's belligerent, and
don't we all?
Yeah, that's true. But in different ways. Yeah.
Well, some of us have calming agents. Some of us have
stimulants.
Yes, that's the word.
Well, I guess alcohol is not a stimulant, but it does anger up the blood real good.
It's true.
Yeah, I realized that as I was saying. David, I think I need to only be on shows with you because you're a writer and intelligent with your words, and I just lose my words constantly. So if we can keep that going, that's great.
Buddy, I'll tell you what, I frequently just find myself in the middle of a sentence on one of these podcasts or on the pregame podcast, and I'm like, I do not know where I started. I do not know how to finish.
Well, I can help you stay on track. I can help you stay on track. You can help me with my words,
vocabulary.
Yeah.
Well, and I elocution, perhaps.
See, I can come with that word because I don't know what that means.
And that would be helpful for me because Jared just likes to leave me dangling a lot because it's fun for him. So I do the same thing to him. But yeah, it's definitely.
So you guys dangle each other, or
sometimes we dangle each other. Sometimes there's a cupping situation going on where we're ready to catch the other person, but the other person never drops. It's cupping versus dangling sometimes.
Is there a situation where there's a cup and a dangle?
No, but there is the ever elusive dock where we
I've heard of the dock.
Yes, both of our minds are just totally in sync and we're on the very same page at the same time. That's when you're docking. Now,
which one receives the other one?
When you
which mind receives the other mind?
No. When you're docking, it's mutual. It's absolutely mutual when you're docking. Yeah, both minds are receiving each other at the same time. So
it's like a mutual mind meld. No, one doesn't open up for the other one.
No. That's more of a that's kind of a hybrid cup, but we don't need to get into that. This is all like way behind the scenes of radio and podcasting, and none of our fans really need to know about this kind of stuff. This is
except for our only fans.
Right. That's a different only our fans need to know about this.
Well, I learned something today.
Oh, what did we learn about the Broncos today, guys? Nothing good. AJ Johnson, as we said, on the IR. David Moore cut. So John Brown will be a part of the team going forward at wide receiver. David Moore, not so much. There is an open roster spot at the moment, so I don't know how we're going to do there. It's a good question. Hopefully we don't see Jerry Jeudy called up from injured reserve, and because that to me screams he's playing. But we'll see. I believe they also signed Curtis Robinson, inside linebacker, to the active roster. Kind of a bummer not to have Avery Williams anymore, but what are you going to do? You weren't going to sign him to the active roster that week, and the Titans did. So
Yeah, I don't even know what inside linebackers are available right now that we could pick up.
Right.
But for me, Curtis Robinson is the best option. At least he was on our team through training camp, through preseason, on our practice squad, obviously. A guy that I didn't think was going to make the roster, but I know he was one of the last-ish cuts.
Yeah. And I believe Browning has a concussion, which is why we're not talking about him. So.
We're going to miss him this week. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, he still is yet to practice today or yesterday, so he's not expected to play as far as I know.
I don't even think you can clear concussion protocol in the amount of time that
that's true. I keep forgetting it's a Thursday game, which opens up my Sunday. Like, what are you guys doing Sunday?
That's a really good question.
Well, this week we'll be like carving pumpkins and stuff.
Yeah, smart.
Right. I'll probably go over to my parents, do some yard work for them. Get that done.
Yeah,
that sounds lovely.
It's a bye week for us too, so
yeah, absolutely.
The leaves are changing. The leaves are falling.
They're falling. They're falling. It's been a beautiful couple of fall days.
And hope that your fantasy team does well. Which I blew out of the water against everybody this week in all 3 leagues, and I don't know who did. Did I beat you, David?
No, your wife did.
Oh, you hate to see that.
I've had 2 losses in a row, and both times, both of my opponents scored their season high in points. Against me. Yes, Kevin, you were one of them. In fact, Kevin
was. Sorry, I was just clearing my throat.
Yeah, I think Kevin, when he beat me, scored the most points of anybody at any point during the season in our fantasy league. So that was real fun.
That was real fun. You're right.
I beat the one and only Mr. Rager himself. It came down to Stephon Diggs against Tyler Bass, the kicker for the Bills. He needed to outscore Bass by 60 points.
60 points.
And Bass got me 13 points as a kicker. So, hey, I'll take that. And Diggs did very well himself. He got 23. So, liking that result.
Yeah, that'd do it for you. That
will do indeed.
You hate to see Chris Godwin go out there and give you a 9.4. That's just not going to win you many games.
Yeah, that will happen.
Yeah. All right, any closing thoughts about Broncos Browns, gentlemen?
Yeah, really quickly, everyone, just remember, check out the post-game podcast. That'll be uploaded later tonight, so you can listen to that tomorrow. It's been long enough since the game that you can enjoy the antics from the post-game podcast and not feel angry like we were when we recorded it. Make sure you check out.
There's a theme brewing in that post-game, by the way.
Huh?
There's an angry theme brewing. We brought Ayla in to try and fix that, and then her positivity just pissed me off too much, and we got me going.
It did. So you can check that out. The pregame podcast will be up tomorrow as well, it looks like. And Thursday, don't forget, we'll still do the pregame show, the tailgate talk, about an hour before kickoff. And the halftime hash will be live as well. And then we'll kind of take a little bit of our bye week in ourselves here at Orange Weekly, and we'll get the post-game podcast to you for the Browns game out not too long after next weekend. So got a ton of content for you guys. The Monday night show, Orange Weekly After Dark, after Monday Night Football always happens. This show, 7 p.m. Mountain Time every week. Glad you're all here. Seriously, we do this for all of you guys, and it makes the season a whole lot more fun getting to interact with you all and have some fun shenanigans and just drink and whatnot. So, but yeah, Chris says it, go Broncos, win or lose. Gotta love the Broncos.
You didn't finish that quote. Kevin, you didn't finish that quote from Chris.
Or tie, win, lose, or tie.
No.
If we tie against the Browns, I'll be happy to.
Okay.
You still didn't. No. There's 2 words at the end of that quote from Christopher.
I'm surprised you started that quote. I'm surprised you started that quote, Kevin.
Yeah,
and you didn't bring it up. I see as well. That's
it's censored. It's a little bit.
Well, no, because there's some vulgarity at the end of that comment there. I don't want to show it on the screen.
There's some fucking vulgarity is there.
Interesting.
There it is.
There it is.
Thank goodness.
There it is.
The people for sensible headgear speak out once again. So good to have you guys, Chris and Rob, here representing Team Puffball. Always a pleasure to have you.
You're welcome, David. You would have missed that whole thing.
I would have. I was not paying attention at all, John, and I appreciate it.
This is why we're a good team.
That's good.
Also, I'm not throwing my hat in.
You don't have a hat. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. You have
my metaphorical hat.
Yeah, DCU, you're talking about the Browns have a lot on the line for themselves as well. So it's going to be a really interesting game, at least going into it. Hopefully it stays a close game and a good game. I Broncos walk away with the win, but we'll see.
I will say a positive for you, DCU, is that we just came away from a game that both teams had a lot on the line, and the team that we lost to looked like they were in a much worse situation, and we make them look very, very good. So that should give you a lot of positivity there. That this is going to be a good week for you as a Browns fan. But
this is not a team that plays like they have a lot on the line when they have a lot on the line.
Yeah. So look forward to that. But at the same time, it's the NFL and anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. All right, fellas.
Well, John needs to go spin his globe.
Yep. John, give him a spin.
Follower on the line. We will get a follow.
I assume
the globe.
And I haven't even asked. Are we even doing the after? What is it called?
No,
the backstage
tonight.
Not doing that.
Tonight there will be no.
You're putting me in a position. I feel
backstage.
pressured.
I understand, and I don't want to pressure you.
Yeah.
I do
kind of feel like maybe if we can drag this on for a week or two, maybe I can do it in 2 or 3 weeks and force
Old King to come back.
Mr. King to come back for the spin. But you know what? Just because I feel like I need to make someone happy tonight.
Yes,
Whoa.
Please do. Here it is. Yay!
Yay!
That's the weakest spin ever. It's only gonna get better. I will say that's the first time I've ever spun that globe.
Well, there you
It
go.
looked like it. Yeah.
And if the Broncos win,
It
now
only
we
gets
have
better,
to spin the globe before every Broncos game.
That's right. You got to get some WD-40 or something for that. Globe.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
Thanks. Any other thoughts, guys?
Thanks, Toe Juice, for coming out. We appreciate you. Always good to have an opposing fan's view.
Unless it's the Raiders, of course.
Right. We don't need that kind of negativity around here.
We don't deal with that.
No
nonsense.
No. But I can only think of 2 words to end out the show, fellas. What about you?
Go Broncos.
Go Broncos.
Take care, everyone.
Do what I like, yeah, do what I like, yeah, do what I like. Sipping goose, if it's right, and I go with the flow, yeah, I go with the flow, yeah, I go with the flow, cause I know I'm the show. In the zone, here I go, in the zone, here I go, in the zone, here I go, yeah, they know I'm a pro.